Hey, Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark, and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider that like, that subscribe, and maybe that cheeky notification bell too? Just look at it. Very cheeky indeed. Let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now, today's first story is from the Relationship Advice subreddit from a throwaway account who says, I, 20 male, am not comfortable with my girlfriend's 19 female living situation, and I'm not sure how to bring it up. I, 20 male, am visiting my girlfriend, 19 female, for spring break. This is the first time I have visited her this year, as we both go to colleges that are across the country from each other. I've met her two roommates briefly when we FaceTime, and they all seem nice and enjoy similar things as her. They had met each other through social media and had been talking for a while and had planned to live together, so they're all pretty close. Her dorm is apartment style, includes living room and dining area. When she was giving me a tour, I saw that there were 4 bedrooms. I know she and her two roommates all have a room, but I didn't know why there was a 4th room. When I asked her, she said the room wasn't that important and laughed with her roommates. The first night, after having dinner, the 4 of us were hanging out in their living room area when the door opened and another girl walked in. She seemed surprised to see me and walked right into the 4th bedroom. My girlfriend and her roommates started to laugh, and after they were done, told me that she was their other roommate. I was super confused because anytime I've talked with my girlfriend, the only people who talk were the other 2 girls. My girlfriend even sent pictures of the bathrooms, living room, and kitchen after the 3 of them decorated it for themselves. My girlfriend and her roommates then told me that because they went into the dorms as a group of 3, they ended up with a random roommate. The entire time, they never said her name and just called her random roommate while laughing. At one point, the girl came out to fill her water bottle, and my girlfriend and the other 2 stopped mid-conversation and stared like a hawk at her until she went back into her room. After she did, they resumed talking and laughing. The girl didn't come out for the rest of the night. Before we went to bed, I asked my girlfriend more about her other roommate and why they all act like that. At first, she was confused, but then said that the girl is really nice, just not like them. She said that in the beginning of the year, the girl was really talkative towards them and friendly, but the other 2 girls did some stuff, and now she just goes to her room all the time. She said that she says hi to her sometimes when she's getting ready for class, but that's it. She said that she was different from them, and not all roommates have to get along. I asked if she knew I was coming and staying here for a week, and she said no, but she'd be fine with it. The past 3 days I've been here, I've noticed that while my girlfriend and her roommates all hang out in the living room, the other girl stays in her room and only comes out when she leaves. My girlfriend gave me a more in-depth tour, and the girl gets 1 door shelf in the fridge and half a drawer/cabinet in their kitchen. The rest is used by the other girls. I asked why she doesn't have more space, and my girlfriend just shrugged. I'm not sure why, but I just feel really soured about the entire thing. My girlfriend has never been a mean girl, but something about this just makes me uncomfortable. On one hand, I'm really happy my girlfriend was lucky enough to have roommates she gets along with and are her friends. But on the other hand, I feel bad for her other roommate. I don't know if I'm just overthinking this. How do I bring this up to my girlfriend, or should I just leave it alone? Now, this kind of behavior just strikes me as bullying in my opinion. And the fact that she's laughing at this girl, not speaking up for her in terms of like all the space in the kitchen, staring at her when she actually just comes out of her room, says everything that I need to hear really. I wouldn't be able to be with someone who treated another person that way. Even if she's doing it for herself, she's enabling this behavior. And I just can't imagine how that poor girl feels coming home and then being treated like this in her own, which should be her safe place, not being able to come out of her room because she gets stared at like a hawk. Roger says, seems like your girlfriend and her friends are getting joy out of making someone else's life miserable. There's a difference between being different kinds of people and straight up being mean, inconsiderate bullies. Don't look good in terms of her character. Superb says, how do you trust someone in a long distance relationship if they have poor character? Seems like she would do whatever with whoever if it was what her 2 roommates wanted. I'm sure you know this and it's what's bugging you, like treating waitstaff poorly. OP says her 2 roommates both have boyfriends. I understand what you're saying, but I know that she would never cheat or do anything like that because of her family and what she's been through. That's why I'm confused with all of this. She's never given any indication that she could act like this. Sorry, I guess replies to OP and says, and now she is giving every indication that she is exactly like this. Nobody is a monster until they are. Frankly, as someone who has PTSD from being bullied, when you said the other two girls did some stuff and then stopped being around them, I got a cold chill up my spine. What she's telling you is that the other two girls did something so truly cruel to put that poor girl in her place that she literally went from being friendly and chatty to being withdrawn and not daring to leave her room most of the time. And that's not even without the fact that they're unapologetically taking advantage of her and not giving her fair share of space that she pays equally to live in. The girlfriend may be the ringleader, but she's not only standing by and allowing her friends to treat this girl like dirt on the bottom of their shoes, she is actively participating in freezing her out and making her feel unwelcome. That whole silencing their talk as soon as she enters the room and laughing about her behind her back, that's straight up vicious. You aren't one of us bullying. Your girlfriend isn't just a mean girl, she's a vicious bully. And she is ruining that other girl's experience of university and leaving her with unhappy memories she will carry throughout the rest of her life. Just as your girlfriend will remember being happy with her friends and what she's been through, or whether or not she would cheat on you is irrelevant. You literally are watching her behave this way and still denying it. She should be ashamed of herself, and so should you for not calling her out. People say nothing while others are mistreated are just as bad as the ones doing it. Oh, and for the record, this isn't about not getting along. Your girlfriend said it herself. The girl was perfectly nice and friendly. This is not a mutual situation of not getting along. This is your girlfriend and her roommates bullying and freezing out their fourth roommate. Period. OP replies to that saying, wow, thanks for this insight. I'm sorry you went through something similar. Part of me wonders if my girlfriend knows what they did to her, but I don't know. I'm leaving tomorrow and I don't know if I should say something to her now or after I leave. I don't want to do anything that causes her roommate to be treated worse because of me, you know. And posts like this always brings those memories of being bullied flooding back to me and just makes my heart break for that girl even more. The amount of isolation you feel and she might not feel this way, but the chance that she does, it breaks my heart for her that she feels like she can't turn to anyone. When she gets home, she has to go and hide in her room and then she's probably in there thinking, oh, if I need to fill up my water bottle, what am I going to do sort of thing. And what did those girls do to her as well? Like that last comment said, but OP did update the post and said, hi everyone. I posted a while back and received some replies as well as a bunch of private messages. I decided to post a short update to let you know what happened. Shortly after I posted and read through your comments and messages, I realized that this relationship was about to end. A lot of you brought up great points and I just couldn't justify staying with a person who acts like this. That night, we all went out to a couple of parties and seeing her act just kind of reinforced my previous thoughts. Her and her friends were just so rude. I don't mean flat out, they actually were pretty fun and nice to a bunch of people, but the three of them just had no regard for everyone else except for them. It was like they had no awareness of their surroundings and didn't even care. Towards the end of the night, I was so upset about everything that I asked my girlfriend if we could head back early. She said yes and we split up from the other two girls. When we got back to her place and got ready for bed, I brought up her two roommates and I just lightly spoke about everything on my mind. She fully admitted that she knew the two girls were rude and literally called them horrible bitches, but there was nothing she could do because they all lived together. I brought up that she willingly signed a lease to move in with them in an apartment next year, and if she didn't like them, why did she always entertain them? She said she didn't know what to say and just kind of shrugged it off. I then asked about her other roommate and found out what the other two girls did. Apparently, when the three of them went out, the girl made her dinner and ate in their living room while watching a movie. When they came back and saw her, one of the two walked into the living room, unplugged the TV in the middle of a movie and said, "You did not pay for this, this is not yours, do not touch." While the other girl took the remote and laughed. The TV belonged to one of the roommates who brought it from her room at home. The apps on it were all split between all the roommates, and I think one of the accounts belonged to the girl. So my girlfriend and the other girl also didn't pay for the TV. I was shocked. That is legit mean girl stuff you see in the movies. When I asked my girlfriend what she did, she said she did nothing and in the moment laughed because she was embarrassed for her, and that's just what she does when she's uncomfortable. Which is true. My girlfriend passed out after that, and I spent a little bit packing my stuff and preparing what I was going to tell her. The next morning, I straight up told her that I really don't see a future with her. I said that she's become a bully, and I don't want to be with someone who surrounds herself with people that are horrible people. She became defensive and said she's never done anything bad, and it's the other two girls. I told her that by now she's an adult and had many choices to not partake in their bullying, but has chosen to and stuck up for them. She got very emotional and then became angry and told me to leave. I got an Uber and headed to the airport, and when I got back to my place, she texted me and asked if this was a break while I figured out what I wanted or if this was definite. I restated what I told her and said that I hope she figures out who she is and I wish her well. I think she blocked me after that. I haven't heard from her since. I did hear from my friend's girlfriend, who is friendly with her and on her private stories, that their room got busted for having alcohol in them, which is banned in the dorms, and all four of them had to have a meeting with their RA and dorm director, proving their innocence. Hope this gives the fourth girl an opportunity to tell them about her living situation. But I don't think I'll ever know. Anyways, thanks for all the advice that I revised. I know it wasn't much, but I definitely appreciated it. And, discovering your girlfriend is not the person you thought she is and finding out about this behavior, I can't blame you for breaking up, but my heart still goes out for this fourth girl in the situation. With the alcohol, is she going to get the blame for it? There's a couple of comments hoping that it was her who snuck the alcohol in and is going to blame those three girls for it. That would be nice, but I hope she does get herself out of that situation sooner rather than later, because it sounds like a horrific way to live, your university life. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. And before we do get into this next story, there is a trigger warning on the story itself that's for sexism, body shaming, and emotional abuse. So if you do want to skip the story, please feel free to do so. Timestamps are always down in the description and along the timeline below. Thank you. And it's from another throwaway account that says, "Am I the arsehole here for wanting to divorce my wife because she got a reduction?" Basically, the title. I, 30 male, and my wife, 29 female, have been together for 6 years. Married for 2. I have a type, and based on my past relationships and the women I'm attracted to, it's not subtle. I like curvy women, and my wife happens to fit this type to a T. She's thick, and I appreciate that. I've been with other types of women, and simply put, thinner women don't do it for me. I mention this because I think that attraction is a big part of a relationship. I could love a person's personality all day long, but if I'm not attracted to them, it's not going to work. Very early in our relationship, she told me that she wanted a reduction as she felt like they didn't fit her frame and that they caused her to receive unwanted attention. I asked her if they caused her pain. She said that they didn't. I told her that I could understand doing something so drastic if they caused her pain or discomfort, or if it needed to be done for medical reasons. But for what boils down to just for aesthetics seemed a bit much. She didn't really agree or disagree and more or less just dropped the subject, as did I. Fast forward 5 years, and we've been married for a year at this point. Out of nowhere, she said that she had an appointment with a doctor to talk about a reduction. I was kind of surprised because I figured that at the very least she would mention it to me. I understand it's not my place to tell her what she can or can't do with her body, but I don't know. I thought she would have said something even in passing. After her appointment, I thought that we should at the very least sit down and talk about her undergoing a massive surgery. I asked her about her appointment and she seemed cagey about the details. Eventually she opened up and told me that she was playing this close to her chest. No pun intended, because she knew that I would try and talk her out of it. I told her that I'm her husband and that I wouldn't try and talk her out of it, but I did want to make it clear that, for the lack of a better phrase, actions have consequences. She said that she understood that, but her chest makes her feel too self-conscious and she wants to go through with it. I told her that I understood and would stand by her. So she gets the procedure done, and after all the healing and swelling went down, she was left with a small B. We have been intimate a few times over the few weeks, and she felt like everything was good and it's been a struggle. The size is really messing with me. Not only that, the scars are brutal. I have a thing about scars that just give me the ick. Even when I had my own surgery, my own scars gave me chills in the worst way possible. I opted for doggy style and reverse cowgirl so I didn't have to see the scars, but my wife knew something was off. She would switch positions so we could face each other, and it's been the end every time. I made up some bullshit about lower back pain and doggy style being the most comfortable position for me. She got upset and accused me of not finding her attractive. I didn't want to keep lying to her, but at the same time, if I agreed, I think that would have crushed her. So I just walked away from the conversation. I know it's not a great move to pull if I wanted a healthy relationship, but I didn't know what else to do. After that, I pulled back from initiating because I'm just not into it anymore. I would accept her advances as her libido is lower than mine, but I've pulled away from that as well because her chest is really unappealing to me. After a few weeks of me not initiating, she confronted me about it. I tried to brush it off by saying that I was stressed and tired. Lying felt kinder than saying that her flat chest makes her look like a child and that the scars make me want to dry heave. But she wasn't having it. I sat her down and reminded her that her actions would have consequences. She blew up at me, calling me shallow and telling me that this wouldn't matter to a real man. She asked if I still loved her. I said that I did, but that doesn't mean that meant I was obligated to sleep with her. And if the roles were reversed, she would say that this dynamic is borderline abusive. That conversation was like a month ago, and since then, things have been icy at best. I want to cuddle with her and spend time with her, but she has rejected my offers to spend time with her at every turn. It feels shitty because this entire situation was caused by her. She made the decision to get this done, despite my concerns. She knew how much scars deeply affected me and she pushed a specific kind of sex onto me despite me trying to work around this. And now that the consequences of her actions are affecting her, she is mad at me. I'm going to go out of my way to offer physical intimacy outside of sex to show her that I still love her and I'm still there for her, but she's not having any of it. I know that she's hurt because while I won't admit to it, she knows that I'm not attracted to her, at least with her shirt off anymore. And that probably feels crushing, but she brought this upon herself. At this point, I don't know where else to go from here. I feel like she won't forgive me, and to be honest, this whole thing has caused some resentment towards her, so I feel that divorce is our only option at this point. So, am I the arsehole here if I get a divorce over this? And we have an edit and then a further update, well, a couple of updates on this one as well. So the first commenter said, would it be different if your wife was disfigured due to an accident and needed plastic surgery? Or say breast cancer and she needed a mastectomy? Is your issue the fact that she chose to do this? You can have preferences, sure, but in this specific case, you have some shallow reasons. Honestly, I hope she finds a better man. OP replies saying it would be completely different. I'd stand by her and suck it up because that's what you do. But this was senseless. It didn't need to happen. Also, it's not like I haven't tried to adjust this, so for you to still boil this down as just me being shallow is just reductive. It's dumb. Kendrick says, I think the whole actions have consequence thing is pretty arsehole-ish of you. It feels like you're trying to verbally punish her rather than getting her to empathize with you. Have you tried just having her keep lingerie on top while you're having sex? Like, I doubt she's super proud of her bare chest right now, and she stated that she did this at least partially for her proportionality, that they didn't fit her frame. Why don't you shop together for some lingerie that she feels will flatter her new frame and will keep you from seeing the scars? OP responds saying, no, I'm not trying to punish her over this. I've asked her if she could keep her shirt on during sex and she says that it's humiliating to her that her husband wants her to cover up during sex. It feels like I offer a solution and they get shot down. Lingerie could be a good idea though. I'd be sexy enough for her that it doesn't come off as me trying to get her to cover up. Sugarcane Bandit says, I do not say this lightly, this guy is scum. I feel repulsed reading his first Am I the Arsehole to now. This poor woman. Wow. What a garbage husband. I got a breast reduction. Sure, it was a lot for my husband to get used to, but he respected me enough to support me and love me regardless of my breasts. I felt like a whole new person after my reduction. I'm so much more comfortable in my body. Too bad OP ruined that for his wife. This is so brutal. I hope she finds someone who loves her for her. So OP first came in with their edit which said, those of you that are saying that I only love my wife for her boobs, read the fourth paragraph and then read it again until it makes sense to you. Sound the words out if you have to. Not only is that take reductive as hell, but it's also flat out incorrect. Is the size an issue for me? Yes, but it's not the end or be all. I know that attraction is very much learned, but I'd like to do that at my pace, and constantly putting fresh scars in my face when we are intimate is not how you go about that. My issue is twofold. One, she allowed the glimpses of strangers supersede my comfort with the situation. She put herself into debt just to appease the thoughts and opinions of other people. Two, she is not letting me adjust at my own pace. I love my wife and I love being with my wife, but forcing me to look at something that I find deeply disturbing is kind of fucked up. I've offered solutions that could work for us perfectly, but it seems that unless the only words out of my mouth are, "Great decision, honey, your new boobs are way better than your old ones," she doesn't want to hear it. Because of those two factors, this is hard for me to look past, especially since this wasn't a necessary thing to do. I haven't even gotten into the fact that insurance refused to cover the surgery because it was technically a cosmetic surgery, and she put herself into debt to do this, which pushes us back from buying the house we want. All around, this was selfish and pointless, literally hustling backwards. So Opie made another post about they started a dead bedroom, and they said, "I, male 30, started a dead bedroom with my 29 wife." Essentially, she made a unilateral decision to get a breast reduction for cosmetic reasons. I tried to get used to it, but my issues are multifaceted. One, after the swelling went down, she's left with a B cup. She's flat chested and it feels very gross to me, like I'm looking at a child. It fucks with me mentally as I'm used to seeing large breasts when we used to have sex. Seeing her so flat just makes it feel inappropriate. Two, her scars are fucking terrible. I have a strong aversion to scarring and scars in general. Her scars have been absolutely brutal, red and raised all the time. I even thought that she had an infection, but she tells me that her scars are red for a long time. 3, I'm simply not into flat-chested women. It's just not for me. 4, I'm angry that she would make such a bold decision with basically no heads up or room for feedback. 5, with how they look between the flatness and the scarring, not only does it do nothing for me, but they actively turn me off when I see them. I used to put her in positions like doggy style and reverse cowgirl when I could at least focus on other things. But it's like she puts them in my face on purpose. She even confirmed that theory when she told me that she wanted to face me while we have sex so she can make sure I'm still attracted to her. And to be frank, I've lost a lot of attraction towards her. I told her the truth. I said that her chest is turning me off and I would like to work around that for the time being until I can grow some more attraction towards them. But she freaked out on me. I suggested she wear a shirt or if we can have her face away from me, and she said that's degrading. Fair. I asked her if she can wear lace bras or lingerie so it's sexy for the both of us, but she says it feels like I'm just trying to cover her up. To be fair to her, I am, but it's what I'm comfortable with. She either balks at every suggestion or cries and tells me that it feels that I don't love her. I asked her what a good solution for this would be, and the solution is that I would appreciate how she looks and just get used to it. Well, I have a third option. I can just say sex is off the table. It's been a few weeks since we last had sex. We average 3 to 4 times a week, so obviously she's been pissed. She asked me when I get over my bitch fit, and I'll just ask her if she's willing to use any of my suggestions. She stormed away. Imagine oh man, I'm struggling to read this next line because it's so fucking, oh dearie me. I don't like the words coming out of my mouth. Imagine trading your sex life just to get a worse pair of tits. It's a shit show. You'll probably get divorced. Fuck my life. The Opie adds what they called their update and says, I want to start off by saying those of you who commented on some version of did you only marry her boobs or her, go to hell. Actually get on a course on phonics, then go to hell. If that's all you got from the post, then I can only hope you don't have kids to pass your low IQs down to. I've done some soul searching and have evaluated my true feelings on the matter. After speaking with a few people that I trust and my therapist, I'm realizing that my issue wasn't just with the reduction. Does it suck? Sure, but I'll live. I sat down with my therapist and understand that I have 4 main issues with her decision to get the procedure. 1. My wife allowed outside influences to affect our marriage in an irreversible way. 2. The constant pushing of my boundaries during sex. 3. A lack of communication beforehand. 4. A lack of communication after I rejected her advances. I gave it a week and I've come to the conclusion that I can't let these feelings go. If I can't trust that she won't change her body because a creepy dude gives her a look, then how am I supposed to trust her with bigger shit like having kids or buying a house? I asked if she felt happier after the procedure, and she said that she doesn't. I asked if she felt like she was stared at less. She says that she feels like she gets the same amount of looks. I asked her if she felt like she got her money's worth. I didn't get an answer for that one, so the whole thing has been a failure. In essence, this was a big waste of time, money, effort, and stress. My friend put me in contact with a lawyer, so done is done, I suppose. She can keep everything, I just want the cat. Finally, for those of you who told me to leave her so she can find someone who actually loves her, you got it. I'm done with her. And after this one, there was a bit of a mix of comments, it has to be said, which I found quite surprising, to be quite honest. The majority of people saying the way it was worded was like completely shitty and horrible, and but a lot of people saying that they understand that marriage is a partnership, etc., and it should have been spoke about not only because they should be working together, but also for financial reasons at the same time. Lots of people saying, she finds a better man. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Whew. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.